Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your favorite LinkedIn superhero, Fagman, here to talk about today's sponsor, Flying Cat. You know, there's a lot of great marketing and SEO agencies out there, but Flying Cat is the only one that adds value. If you want to check them out for your business, go to flyingcatmarketing.com. Or don't. You decide. And hey, you can always comment Flying Cat with a question mark, and I'll see if I can answer your questions. That's the Fagman guarantee. Look, I'm a busy dad, so when a salesperson reaches out pitching me, I just say no thanks, explode into hysterical abusive rage, and get back to my day. But then I learned about Pitchfire. They have a much better way. Instead of screaming and getting angry, I actually get paid to respond to salespeople. Thanks, Pitchfire.
Chris Sells His Soul is filmed in front of a live streaming audience, so don't forget to comment throughout the show. The show's about to get started, so grab yourself 2 hearty buckets of popcorn and get ready for a conversation about how to monetize your creative skills. Now it's time for a message from today's sponsor.
Today's episode is brought to you by Apollo.io. Apollo.io. Buy it! Now! Now!
Live from Chicago, it's Chris Sells His Soul. I'm your host, Chris Bogue. Thank you. And this is my show where I have conversations with cool people who will help you work more creatively. Today, my guest is Justin Rowe, founder of Impactable. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Happy to be here. And that was beautiful playing, by the way. I didn't think you were going to be that good.
Thank you. That's great. It's always it's better than when I screw it up and have to start over and then edit it to make it look like I know what I'm doing. But thank you, and welcome to the show. Today's episode is called Target and Retarget Your Audience. So do you want to just take a minute before I do the intro here and get us set up? Why don't you say hi and let the members of my audience know where they can find you?
So my name is Justin Rowe. I am the founder and CEO of Impactable. We're a B2B LinkedIn ads agency. And you can find me here on LinkedIn. Hopefully, if you search Justin Rowe, I should be one of the first ones that come up. You can also check me out at our website out at impactable.com. And we have a killer YouTube channel as well. Basically 300 plus LinkedIn ads videos, how to and whatnot, but happy to be here.
Excellent. Yes. Everybody, welcome Justin. If you go ahead and look up at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you will see a QR code there so you can follow Justin. So go ahead, scan that QR code. We're going to be getting deep on targeting, retargeting, LinkedIn ads. Do they work? Can they work? How should they work? How can they work for you? These are all questions that we're going to get into. But before that, maybe you're interested in knowing something about me. So my name is Chris Bogue. I am your host. I specialize in video, so I coach B2B companies and individuals how to get on video as the most intelligent, confident version of themselves. I specialize in video prospecting for sales and also video content. And if you want to find me, you can check me out on LinkedIn. Go ahead, look up Chris Bogue, and be sure to ring the bell to get new updates from me all the time. I post about sales, I post about video, I post about writing and content creation. And I also post new comedy all the time. So jump in, check it out. Before we ask the first question here, we always have to give a thanks to our wonderful sponsors today. Today's show is brought to you by Flying Cat, Apollo, and Pitchfire. So you already heard a little bit from them. Flying Cat is the premier SEO and marketing agency. They operate all over the world. They've got a team of super smart, super funny, talented women working in over 15 different countries. So check out flyingcatmarketing.com if you are looking for SEO and marketing. It's also brought to you by Apollo. So Apollo is the sales tool. It is everything you need for your go-to-market operation. We're talking sales data, enablement tools, automation tools. It's got everything you need at apollo.io. And also thanks to our newest sponsor, Pitchfire. So Pitchfire is the service that pays you to respond to salespeople. You can check them out at pitchfire.com. We're going to have lots more hilarious content coming from them this month. And finally, we want to hear from you. So if you are watching this live on LinkedIn or YouTube or X or wherever you watch this, go ahead, jump into the comments, say hello, let Justin and I know where you're watching from, ask us all the questions you have about targeting and retargeting your audience, LinkedIn, thought leadership videos. We're going to be talking about it all. Justin, you ready to get started?
I think so.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about B2B and also B2C. So why don't you just get in here and just give us the brief overview. How and why did you get so obsessed with using LinkedIn for marketing?
So probably just like quick backstory too. Like I discovered LinkedIn 6 years ago. I was in the restaurant industry actually, and LinkedIn was kind of the platform that was this space where you could connect with other professionals. I used it to try to find opportunities, and I kind of discovered that it was something that I could leverage for myself. I accidentally created kind of a lead gen system that started my first startup that was kind of acquired 2.5 years ago. And then I pivoted into the LinkedIn ad side. And that's kind of where I fell in love with actual marketing because I learned it and taught myself and got a bunch of consultants to help me along the way. And LinkedIn ads, in my mind, is this huge underused, misunderstood piece of the puzzle where you can actually target your ideal ICP a little easier than most of the other platforms. And more importantly, what I found was that the retargeting aspect of LinkedIn ads was like some superpower because unlike all the other platforms where you could just retarget all your website visitors, LinkedIn actually can qualify all of your website traffic by layering on these high-powered filters on top of your warm retargeting audience to make sure that you're just retargeting your best fit ICP group. And so that's kind of where I fell in love with LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn retargeting, and kind of became more of a broad market marketer myself in the process.
Sweet. Okay, let's get a little deeper into this idea of retargeting. I hate to let the audience in on the drama backstage, but right now we are having a little bit of issue with Restream. So my apologies. Please keep leaving comments. We have apparently lost the ability to pull your comments onto the screen. But I can see that you are commenting. So hello to Judy from Cancun. Hello to Myra. Hello to everybody who's commenting here. Keep asking your questions throughout the show. We're going to do the best we can to answer them. Real quick, let's talk a little bit about retargeting. So I like to kind of clarify some of these terms just in case somebody doesn't know. So we're going to talk about retargeting. And what do you mean by ICP?
Ideal client profile. So the exact people that you want to do business with. LinkedIn, hands down, is one of the best platforms to actually get in front of the right people due to their targeting options.
Well, it's because we actually know who they are and where they work and what their job title is, right?
That helps. Yeah. Whereas other platforms, it's like they follow Gary Vee and they live in the United States, and then you let the algorithm do its thing. LinkedIn, you can say this position title, these job functions, this seniority level, this company size that has budget, these industries that we actually serve, and geographic like locations. It's a lot more specific. So higher end deals and more custom targeting like that.
All right. So what's the difference between this retargeting and, say, stalking, which sounds kind of similar?
There's no difference. Just kidding.
I was like, oh my God, we've stumbled onto something sinister here.
Yeah. Well, from the sales side, I think, we all hear the riches is in the follow-up. And I think digitally, it's the same thing. So if you go to the e-com side and you check out a $200 pair of shoes, guaranteed you're going to be seeing those shoes, similar shoes, complementary products that go with shoes over the next 3 or 4 months. Shockingly, though, the B2B side seems to be a little less mature with digitally, we'll say, following up, not stalking their prospects that kind of engage with their website. So usually, even though they have a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 product, they don't do a good enough job actually retargeting that group, staying in front of them, and pushing those deals over the line through that digital follow-up.
Interesting. Yeah. So this kind of blows my mind. I was actually, so I'm not going to name names, but I'll say there's somebody that is well respected on LinkedIn and has even been on this show. And maybe we can talk too. Maybe there's a difference here between sales follow-ups and marketing follow-ups. But the one thing that I have learned over a lifetime of sales is that you can never follow up too much. Like, you always want to keep following up. And I was surprised because I saw it was a marketer who had went his own way, a couple months ago. And he was talking about like following up with somebody who was a sales lead. And he mentioned that like he gave up after the first follow-up. And I'm like, what are you doing? Nothing it always takes more than one follow-up, they introduce a new flavor of Hershey bar. You're going to have to pass by and look at the wrapper probably at least 10 times before you actually buy one, This is just how human beings are wired. We, even if we want something, even if we tend to buy it, we say, oh, I'll get around to that. And then we don't. And we need like 10 reminders before we actually go through, change our behavior, make our commitment, part with the money. So what is wrong with B2B? Are they stupid? Why have they not realized that they should be retargeting on the easiest platform to identify and retarget people?
I think part of the problem isn't that, they're not dumb. I think traditionally the B2B world, a couple of things have happened. So a lot of the more mature companies, their website traffic is just so big and has such a mixture that they have bad experiences when trying to retarget. For example, if you just tried to retarget on Google with display, or if you tried to retarget on Facebook, the options are pretty limited. It's 90-day website visitors or key page visitors, but it's for big companies, it's this huge hodgepodge of traffic, and it's just too diluted to get an effective retargeting campaign like on these other platforms. And I think part of the problem is LinkedIn is underused and misunderstood. They don't realize that LinkedIn can actually solve that problem. So LinkedIn Insight Tag can view all of your traffic, not just from LinkedIn. So it sees your Google search traffic, your SEO traffic, your Facebook traffic, your organic traffic, and then you can layer on targeting filters on top of that to say, okay, if there's warm prospects in my ecosystem and they are from these company sizes with budget, these position titles that have decision-making process or authority, these industries that actually serve, that group, which is a much smaller group of your entire website traffic, that group I choose to retarget with dedicated budget and creatives. And I think there's a lot of B2B organizations that just don't know that exists. And so they mostly go net new cold awareness, or they'll build these ABM lists and just hammer them like in one layer and put all of their ads rotating like into that group. But they don't bother tracking like if people from that group actually move to their website and then segmenting that warm audience from the cold audience. They just don't bother doing that. So I think those are the two reasons: over diluted massive audiences, or an over focus on ABM approach. So they ignore, they feel like they don't need to pay attention to like the retargeting signals and segment that group out. But I think, in my experience, that's a pretty big miss.
An ABM, for anybody who's sitting at home, is account-based marketing. So why are they doing that instead? When you say they are working the account-based marketing lists hard in favor of ignoring this retargeting data, what's their problem?
So in that example, let's say you take the 150 companies that you want to do business with. And this is another, there's a real big focus and trend of this kind of ramping back up, where people are wanting to take, move most of their marketing into this ABM approach, where they say, okay, I don't just want to target a broad group of people or worry about retargeting. I'm going to take these 100 companies or these 150 companies, and I'm going to bring them into a list and I'm going to target them. Now, in that respect, if there's only 5 or 10,000 people in your entire audience that you're targeting, then sure, maybe retargeting starts to be problematic, because in order to have a retargeting audience, you need at least 3 or so hundred people to get those signals from, to segment. And so if your whole world that you're targeting is 5,000 people, building up a retargeting audience big enough that it justifies, building out some retargeting layers, I could see like that could be problematic. So, but I guess then my approach would be a couple of different things. It would be, okay, then you take the elements that I like to put in retargeting, which is building trust and credibility, thought leadership, and you can saturate that group there. I would expand beyond just the decision makers in that ABM group, see if I can grow it into other people that are in the room, see if we can grow that. And then I would also say, like, just because you're targeting and saturating this ABM group in the cold doesn't mean that you should then, and because retargeting in that small group maybe is problematic, you shouldn't just then ignore if there's other people that look like that who stumbled onto your website, your company page, but because they're not part of this list, you're just going to refuse to like retarget them. I think that's a huge miss because that's low hanging fruit that, you could sweep up.
Tell me more about these lists, because it seems like there's some bad stuff happening there. And, on this show, we're simultaneously everybody's friend and also kind of taking issue with what everybody is doing. So like in a world where everybody calls themselves a GTM, a go-to-marketing expert, and everybody seems to think of themselves as an account-based expert, is there any like bad information going or bad kind of like instincts that somehow we got? And what are those bad instincts, and where does this misguided impulse come from?
So yeah, I think the best example would be, let's start with lists and let's start with ABM. Traditionally, on any other platform, if you wanted to get in front of them in a programmatic, display ads, or if you want to take it to Facebook, you have to get prospect lists. So you would figure out the target of companies that you want to target. You'd figure out the decision makers within those companies, and you would get that prospect data. Then you'd upload those prospects into, your platform and advertise. So part of a lot of the answers to like, why do they do this? Why don't they do that? Is because LinkedIn is different than these other platforms. And yet people don't seem to treat it very different. So what they do, which is terrible, which is not terrible, but I think bad, is uploading prospect lists into LinkedIn. Now, the reason it's bad is because LinkedIn, the better way to approach it would be just to take the account list, the company list, load that into LinkedIn, and then use LinkedIn's native filters to then find the decision makers within that company. This way, instead of a static list of prospects that will degrade 30% over time because they change jobs, change careers, move, you're getting an account list that is dynamic. And when you layer the account list and use LinkedIn's demographic filters, that becomes dynamic. As people leave the company or join the company, your targeting continues to target the right people because you're targeting accounts and then using LinkedIn's filters to get into the actual people. So I think two things happen. A, if you're not using account lists versus prospect lists, your data is going to degrade like 30% year over year because people come and leave jobs. And then the second is if you use account list on LinkedIn and then expand using their filters, you can penetrate deeper into those organizations, and you don't have to worry about buying, these huge prospect lists and uploading them. The company lists are way cheaper to get, and then they're actually more effective on LinkedIn. You can do company list and then do job function, seniority, and layer on some additional criteria and kind of penetrate and saturate those sections and decision makers within that company. So I think that is a completely better approach, but it's different, and it comes back to everyone is treating LinkedIn the same as they would treat Facebook. And it's completely different, and there's a lot of different best practices versus what you do on another platform.
That's very interesting too. We're gonna get it deeper. So everybody watching at home, thank you very much, Jane. I see you're weighing in there, saying hi. We are gonna get really a lot more specific in the second half of this show on like what you can do to target the people you're trying to go after, like different specific tactics you can use in conjunction with retargeting and ads. I am really interested, though. I'm going to ask one more question before we go to our middle segment, which is, so early on, I had a lot of bad sales impulses within me. And I would do the same thing. I would go get a list of decision makers, go after that, and I would have all sorts of problems. I agree that going after the accounts is easier to figure out. And also, how much do you consider targeting people based on how online they are on LinkedIn? Because this is a big change I've done over the year, and it's a big reason why my live events always have people showing up, is because I am always looking for who is on the platform right now, who is spending time here. I have discovered as a business owner, it's a lot easier to target and start conversations with people that are already active on the platform than it is to go after somebody who maybe has the right job title on the list I'm looking at, but hasn't logged into their LinkedIn in the past 2 years. So
Yeah.
is that something you think a lot about? And is that something you see a lot of mistakes with businesses making in terms of targeting people here?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good point. And one of the things I say is there's a huge difference between your ICP, so your ideal target in general, like in a perfect world, when you make these lists in a silo in your dark man cave of marketing or whatever, and it's a completely different than your ideal client, profile on LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn, you're right. If I had to say, okay, is there a group that's maybe, less than the perfect imaginary prospect that I have, but is actually more reachable, more active, more likely to like respond, engage, book a call with me on LinkedIn. They're slightly different. So that's also why I would say, yes, if you have your list, you're building those on all these triggers that have nothing to do with the platform LinkedIn. So while you can work, or that I have seen that work very well, you should portion a budget that makes sense with the audience size to that uploaded list. And then I would highly advise you separately use LinkedIn native audiences to try to create a similar group. So you can pick your job titles, your industries, your company sizes, your geographies, all the things that if you have a list of intent triggers of companies that fit this and layer that on top, you can do that. But using LinkedIn's native filters as another campaign to complement your ABM list, I think is really smart, because you're exactly right. There's a group of people that look very much like your ICP that weren't in your list, that are active on LinkedIn, that are engaging. And there's a couple of filters, even just using LinkedIn's native filters, you're more likely to get in front of that group. And then on top of that, for someone like you, there's, additional, like if you're running LinkedIn ads, there's additional filters you could add on, like frequent contributors, or they have an interest in like dark social as a topic, because they, probably recognize the importance of doing things that you can't show direct attribution to. So layering on some additional criteria like that, or if you're using Sales Navigator, it's like people that have posted recently, or people, I forget, I'm more on the LinkedIn ad side than Sales Navigator these days, but they have some of these triggers that allow you to kind of segment out people that might actually be more active on the platform. And yeah, that group does shockingly well. I guess maybe not so shocking, versus this list that you created outside of LinkedIn that has nothing to do with LinkedIn, that doesn't take into account, people's actual activity on LinkedIn. So that's a great point.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's doing it solo, or if anybody's a solo consultant or creator or influencer or something like that, often on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I just start who's actually interacted with me, who knows me. It's so much easier to get a conversation with somebody who knows what I'm about and who enjoys the content and is already interested in the things that I post about. Maybe somebody who's new and similar to that is similar, and they're looking at these topics because they're ready to buy. Speaking of ready to buy, it's time for Gimme Gimme.
Nice. I'm
Justin,
ready.
you want to do Gimme Gimme? All right, let's do it. So
let's do it.
All right, so everybody, we have a little tradition on this show here, because recently I've discovered there is pernicious misinformation running rampant on LinkedIn. There's some nefarious tricksters out there who have convinced people that the whole purpose of LinkedIn is for friendship and to selflessly give away value and ask for nothing in return. But we all know here at Chris Sells His Soul what the real purpose of LinkedIn is. It was designed to make money. That's right. Unlike Facebook and YouTube and these other platforms that were designed to bring us together and make the world a better place, LinkedIn was designed for a place where you could upload your resume, get higher paying jobs, and get new clients. So every once in a while, I like to pop in a character here, and my guest and I like to ask my audience for exactly what it is that we want from them. So you ready to do Gimme, Justin?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Hello! Welcome to another episode of Gimme, the part of the show where I ask you for money. Justin, it's going to be in your turn in 1 second, but shut your mouth and let's listen to these wonderful messages from today's sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Flying Cat Marketing. Do you want great marketing? Then f***ing pay for it, you miser! Or you think you're gonna learn how to do SEO? I don't even know what your business is, but if it's anything like most of the marketing I've seen on LinkedIn, it is dog okay? So go to flyingcatmarketing.com and pay somebody who actually knows what the hell they're doing for the love of God. This week's episode is also brought to you by Apollo.io. Well, you're in sales and you're not using Apollo? Are you crazy? It has everything you need, all right? So go to Apollo.io, take out your credit card, and just buy it, all right? Don't research it, don't ask questions to your friends, just buy it and thank me later. That's Apollo.io.
Chris Sells His Soul is also brought to you by pitchfire.com.
Do you feel overwhelmed because salespeople are constantly pitching you? Well, shut your whiny mouth and sign up for pitchfire.com instead. Pitchfire is the only website that will pay you to respond to salespeople. What are you waiting for? Quit writing your angst-filled LinkedIn post and go sign up for Pitchfire today at pitchfire.com.
Yeah, that's right. Enjoy it, because absolutely nobody else on LinkedIn is going to make sketch comedy promoting tech companies. All right, but you all should. Justin, my audience is here. They have money. They need help desperately. They're on LinkedIn. Ask them for anything that you want.
So I'll be less angry than Boss Bogue here, but if you guys are running LinkedIn ads and you're not actually using a LinkedIn ads agency to run your LinkedIn ads, I think that's crazy. If you're using an in-house team, if you're using a broad spectrum marketing agency, you should give Impactable.com a look. We'll give you a free audit, book a demo with our team. And if you'd like, check us out, Impactable.com, our YouTube channel, and follow me on LinkedIn. But you should definitely be using a LinkedIn ads agency because we've seen some pretty disastrous stuff from those that don't.
Oh, yeah. You think you're angry? I am so much angrier at my audience for not giving their money to you immediately. All right. Literally nobody knows anything about LinkedIn ads on LinkedIn aside from Justin and maybe Tim Davidson, friend of the show. Exactly. But Justin is definitely the one who I see in the feed more often talking about practical advice for LinkedIn ads. So go ahead, scan the QR code in the top left screen right now, connect with Justin, and while you're at it, why don't you connect with me too, right? You see all this happening? You think this just happens magically out of nowhere? No, baby. I got the best training there is out there, all right? I've learned from top creators. I was taught sketch comedy and improv at Chicago's Second City. I can go out there and make you look stupidly good on video no matter what you do. So if you want to hire me, I do sales training, I do SKOs, I do video content training, I do individual coaching. If you want to get out there making smart content all the time that drives revenue to your business, go ahead, scan that QR code, book a consultation with me, or go to chrisbogue.io and learn more. And just for this weekend, I'm actually running a special promotion on my course. So if you want to get out there with prospecting videos that are going to move the needle and fill your calendar with business meetings, go to chrisbogue.io and get the complete guide to selling on video, which is on sale right now for only $99. Right? That's a stupid good deal because I put an insane amount of work into it. I should win an Oscar for that damn thing. You could get it for $99 and it has everything you need to learn to get started with video prospecting today. So we are going to watch a clip of that before we get on to the rest of the interview. But before we do that, Justin, do you have anything else you want to share with the audience here?
No, that was pretty much it.
Excellent. This has been Gimme. Iggy, roll the tape.
Hello? Is this Mr. Sherber? It sure is. What can I help you with, brother? Hello. You were not expecting this call. Do you have 17 seconds to learn about Mercifully Short? Is this a cold call? I don't know. You. Never call this number again.
Oh no! Another unsuccessful cold call. You probably don't have time to fuck off.
I got a quota to hit.
Are you spending hours every week cold calling and cold emailing but not seeing results?
There's gotta be a better way.
Introducing the complete guide to selling on video. Whether you're new to sales or a President's Club member, this fast and fun course will teach you to efficiently create short, customized videos that get results. The complete guide to selling on video is not sold in stores. Visit chrisbogue.io and use promo code GIMMEGIMME to take $50 off while supplies last. Don't delay, get noticed today.
And we're back. Hey everybody, I am here with Justin Rowe. We are talking about targeting and retargeting your audience. And this is the part of the show where we're going to get specific. So we're going to be talking about thought leader ads. We're going to be talking about 30-day targeting programs versus 90-day retargeting programs. Justin really is an expert on this. I'm really going to be trying to get as much information as we can here. So just a reminder, if you are watching this show live on YouTube or LinkedIn or X or Facebook or wherever you watch this show, go ahead, jump into the comments, leave any comments you want for Justin and me about LinkedIn, about videos, about ad targeting. Again, we are having some sort of issue with Restream where I can't put the comment up on screen, but we are going to do as best we can to answer your questions. So yeah, before we get into the second half, can we just talk a little bit, Justin, because I have a couple deals in the pipeline right now where they want to be putting video out there. I've got some marketing leaders who are considering, should they put content on their LinkedIn company page or on their personal page? I'm of the mindset that LinkedIn company pages are hot garbage. Am I wrong?
The company page, it's not hot garbage, but I would recommend a healthy mix. So, and this is speaking from someone who I think I've worked both sides a little more than a lot of people. I've grown my own personal organic profile to about 78,000 followers. I have a healthy amount of pipeline that we've generated from my organic efforts. And then, yes, I crossed over to the dark side. I run a very ads heavy kind of client acquisition plan now. And I use a healthy mix. I use thought leader ads. So I post from my personal profile and then sponsor it from the ad account. I also run ads that are a little more traditional that point directly to the website, or seek to push people over to kind of the closing side. But I would say a healthy mix. But thought leader ads, I think, should be a part of a lot more B2B organizations mix, and they aren't yet. But I'm big on that.
Okay, let's get into that because I've got like so many questions on here. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about the difference between text versus video. So anybody on who's watching this and who's seen multiple episodes knows that I am a huge fan of video. Video transformed my career. I went from having absolutely no profile at all to be able to launch my own training and consultancy agency. I was immediately able to start finding clients and getting companies to pay me to come in and do training and sponsored content and voice acting and all sorts of things. So for me, video has just changed the game for me. Now, I know you do a lot of video, but you also advise people to use text posts. So how do you think of using these differently? And what's the ratio that you're using to promote Impactable in your own company? How much text do you use for ads versus video posts?
So yeah, I would say the big difference is like the amount of consumption and then the ease to like next action. And if you're active organically, like one thing I've seen is that like my text only posts often have the biggest reach. My video posts often have the highest engagement. My text and image can be kind of a mixture. But I find that having a healthy mix of content types, even in my organic feed, helps me hit a couple of different bases. And I used to be text only. Like I would say up until a year and a half ago, almost all of my network growth and my content was like text, hardly ever even text and image. It was just like text posts. And then I started introducing video and I saw a little drop in like reach, but a big spike in engagement. And one thing I realized, and I think this is true, is that someone would have to consume, I think like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 of your text posts to get the same impact of like watching one decent video of yours. Like the amount, and I think of like this trust meter, the amount that a video can like move the trust meter is just incredible. Like, and if they get drawn in the first 30 seconds, and they watch a 5-minute video of yours, like, yeah, that's worth more than them consuming 5, 6, 7, 8 of your text posts usually. So I like to have a mix because some people also just consume and have different preferences. But the one thing I like about the video, or I think, yeah, two things I really love about video heavy is that you can retarget based on how much of the video they watch. So all the other kind of ad formats it's like binary. It's they clicked it, yes or no. But video, it's like how engaged were they with it, and then you can take that and you can retarget based on the fact that this group of users viewed 75% of a video in this group, and then you can segment that out to maybe a stronger campaign with a bigger call to action. So in ours, I have text and image thought leader ads kind of running my cold. I like those decently for like awareness, but I've also played with video there. And then I run more video heavy in my retargeting. So my first objective is to make a good first impression, get on their radar. And then the retargeting, I have a healthy mix. It's probably like 30 or 40% video, and then it's 60% text and a mixture of other ad types like text and spotlight and followers and some other like non-traditional ones. But I would say it's a healthy mix of my current strategy right now.
Let's talk about why it moves the trust meter. So this is a thing that I get into. This is a fight I get into. With people on this show sometimes. Like I remember Scott Leese, friend of the show, sales leader, sales guru, whatever you want to call him. I had a conversation with him recently, and he was talking about the future of sales. He's actually pretty pessimistic about the future of sales because he's like, AI is gonna take over everything. And I saw he was angry about voice notes recently. He was angry about video. He's like, I'm a busy sales leader. I don't have time to, listen to a voice note or watch a video. Send it to me in an email. And, as somebody who has had to start out from nothing, and like guys like Scott, guys like Marcus Chan, guys, on my show, like oftentimes I came them on, they went solo because they were so successful and wildly known and had such a huge Rolodex of buyers that they worked with from their last sales job that it was very easy for them to go solo. Whereas me, I had to launch an agency out of nothing. And it sounds like that's what you did too. And for me, the video helps because I'm trying to slow them down. I know, even if I go to a LinkedIn post and sometimes people just have a clever hook and I'm like, oh, I wonder what the missing text says. They're like, I screamed at my kid. He was crying. And then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to hit the see more button to see what's wrong with this monster. And they're like, he got a great report card. I was so proud of him. And I'm like, oh, great. You pulled you bait and switched me with the trolley headline. I'm going to keep scrolling, But with a video, yeah, if I am sitting down, if I'm actually going to sit there and watch your video, I am giving it way closer attention than all the last 50 things I just scrolled through. So I tell people, like, of course the engagement is lower. It's harder you can't skim through a video the way you can skim through a text post, but it's my theory that engagement you're getting on a video is much more substantial and much more engaged. So yeah, is that how you think of it? Have you discovered any data or any sort of information that kind of proves my hypothesis, or do you think I'm onto something here?
I think you're definitely onto something. The two things that I think video does that text post and text and image can't do is, one, it shows personality of who's on the other side. And I think that actually matters. Like whether you're selling a product, a software, a service, especially a service, I think video, especially for a service, like makes a lot of sense because it's not just a product, it's who's going to deliver, who's behind that. And in a 30-second video, you can see more information, more personality, more character of who you might potentially get into business with versus a text post ever could. Like you'd have to look at the text post, visit the website, go to the about section, stalk them on social media to kind of get an idea of who you might be getting into business with. Video, just talking for 30, 60 seconds, they're going to see your personality. They're going to see if you actually are smart or if you're as dumb as a box of rocks, if you know what you're talking about, if you have a different point of view. And it's so hard to craft like the perfect text post. I feel like video is a little more is more forgiving, because if you let me ramble for 5 minutes about a topic I'm passionate about, hopefully there's 10 seconds in there that hits you, but on text post, like, you kind of got to get it right, because it's like in cement and writing. And then the other side of video, I think, is you show them, you don't just tell them. So instead of like, either I'm talking about a point, or when I started doing video, half of my videos, or 60%, were screen shares. And I think people really like that, because it was like, I'm not just writing a theoretical post on how to optimize your LinkedIn ads. Like, let me take you into a LinkedIn ads campaign manager. Let me show you this setting you've never seen before that your agency like apparently is screwing you over with. Let me show you exactly how to check this. And then you can go look at it yourself and you're like, oh, damn, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He's in actual ad accounts. He's an actual practitioner. And I think that makes a world of difference when you can show someone you're the expert, not just tell them that you're the expert.
All right, I got a couple thoughts here, because this is something I think about all the time. So let's take my videos, just for example. So you got to see one there during the Gimme Gimme segment. That is my one of my many homemade infomercials. Yeah. And if you haven't guessed the reason why I make funny infomercials, it's because they work. The first time I had ever posted that as organic content, I just got like 10 inbounds in like an hour or two. It was like crazy. My Stripe account lit up and I was like, oh, wow. I just made like a LinkedIn organic funny video and made like $1,500 in like, an afternoon. That is pretty nice, considering it's like people are just scanning a credit card, Obviously over time, it doesn't become as effective just running the same ad over again. But I wondered, should I be paying to try these out as ads? If I've got these funny, entertaining videos that have converted people to buy courses before, if I have data about people who are going on LinkedIn and checking my comedic content out, like, should I be targeting them and actually putting ad spend behind these funny infomercials? Or I could take the exact opposite route, which is I have videos that are clips from my course and oftentimes they involve a screen share, and they are me showing you different parts of the video prospecting process, how to make a great video, how to make a great thumbnail, how to make an effective subject line, how to target the right people, how to make sure you're not getting hit by a spam filter, right? Now, personally, I have discovered that I get a lot further in the newsfeed with the funny entertainment. I can give you the greatest, most useful business knowledge on earth, and people actually think it's funnier to see Wegman and the boss, and they're much more likely to respond, share. And like, to me, I am agnostic. I don't care. If I can make more money doing educational ads, I'll do educational ads. If I'll make more money doing funny ads, I'll do funny ads. It doesn't matter to me, because I just consider that the fancy wrapping paper that I'm using to get somebody else to open a gift. So, have you seen any luck with entertaining content being boosted? If you had to guess, would you guess that the educational content makes more sense to boost? Or is this one thing where you're just like, I don't know, you'd have to experiment on your own, Chris?
So I think that there's probably not enough data on this, because there's not enough brave souls like yourself putting funny, entertaining, and educational content out about, B2B topics. So there's an extreme shortage, but that's also why it's probably particularly effective, is because there's less people doing this. It's catching their attention. It's shocking the system of the boring B2B LinkedIn ads feed. And so normally, the way that I kind of like grew my following was I got really technical, like how-to guides and got into the weeds. It takes a certain type of person and personality and need and moment for them to be like really attracted and drawn in and into that type of content, where I feel like, if I created more entertaining content around all the mishaps of broad spectrum marketing agencies managing LinkedIn ads, or in-house teams and the debacles we've taken over, and make it into like a skit, I feel like that would be great content that would pop on the feed. Even non-LinkedIn or people that weren't interested in my product but liked the energy and entertainment they help amplify that so that more possible people who are your target demographic would see it. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that your play right now is working and probably will continue to work for a while, because there's not that many people doing it. And then to your other point of, should I be amplifying that with ads? So one of the beautiful things that I have found now that LinkedIn actually allows us to do thought leader ads is what I've done in the past, and probably what you've done is, yeah, those posts that got you inbound leads, you kind of probably repurpose those from time to time, bring those back out, but you'll probably never get the same level of virality that you did with some of those maybe original ones. Now, what if you could reach back in time and take that actual post that performed the absolute most and make that evergreen? So instead of repurposing the idea and making fresh content that then gets buried in the feed, you actually keep your best performing posts alive forever with spend behind it and targeting to your ideal ICP. That's what the thought leader ads do. So now my organic strategy was very similar. I'd have, after 5 years and thousands of posts, I have like 20 posts that it's almost like guaranteed. If I post this on a Tuesday morning at this time, finagle the headline, I'll get some inbound leads and I'll get decent organic traction. But each time I do that, I was getting a little bit less juice from it. And then when the thought leader ads came out, I knew what 15, 20 ads I wanted to make evergreen. I pulled those into a campaign, pull those ads in there. It's retargeting my website visitors or company page visitors, and I'm guaranteeing distribution of my best assets to my ideal target group. And I think that's kind of the best of both worlds.
Interesting. So how much do you recommend somebody spend? Because this is the thing you hear all the time, right? Is that LinkedIn ads are expensive. So yeah, let's do like a couple if thens. So if you've got, let's say, we'll start with a solo practitioner, then we'll talk about like a bigger like B2B company, but like, let's say you're a solo practitioner, or maybe you've got like 1 or 2 employees, you're looking to bring maybe 1 or 2 new clients on a month, and that's all you really need. What kind of budget do you need to have in order to realistically give this a shot with LinkedIn ads?
So yeah, and I get this question a lot, and there's the big idea that objectively LinkedIn ads is more expensive or just super expensive, and in comparison to other channels. So the big thing I've realized is that most organizations' marketing journey is very similar. A lot of people start with SEO, organic content, then they get into paid search, and then they get into maybe Facebook, and then they dabble with LinkedIn ads. That's usually the progression. And even as a LinkedIn ads agency owner, I would say that is a good progression. LinkedIn ads is almost never the best first paid platform for you to get started on, unless you're in the unique position of being an organic kind of, you've already built an organic following and community on LinkedIn organic. And then maybe LinkedIn ads can make sense to amplify what's already working for you organically. For almost everyone else, small shops who are just getting started, organic, SEO, paid search, and then maybe dabbling with Facebook and then getting to LinkedIn makes sense. So usually LinkedIn, in my mind, is a middle of the funnel hero. So I wouldn't advise it if it's one of your first forays into paid ads. But as far as budget, if you have a good foundation, if you have paid traffic coming to your website already, it's converting, there's some quality, you could get started with as little as $2,000 to $3,000 a month on LinkedIn ad budget. You could start with a retargeting focus, like 70% retargeting, a light little cold campaign to get some fresh quality prospects in the top of the funnel. That could be a great starting point. If you don't have a good foundational layer and you're starting with LinkedIn in a silo, the getting net new prospects who aren't in market, they're not searching for this, there's no indicator that they're looking for a solution, putting ads in front of them and then nurturing them, that could take $5,000 to $10,000 a month and 5 to 6 months in order to get ROI. And that's usually the path people try to take, which is why they think it's so expensive. But I would say get some other things in order first, get some quality traffic sources to your website, then introduce LinkedIn, maybe start with a retargeting heavy focus, and then lean into the cold side when you feel like you have a good thing going, you need to fill the top of the funnel with a steady stream of quality prospects. Would be a good way to approach it.
Interesting. Let's talk about the difference in the kind of retargeting programs you do. So this is another thing where it's like people who are learning more about business or like whatever, like, again, I always think you got to think about like what you're actually like as a person and what the people in your life are. And like most of us aren't making, 5 and 6 figure purchasing decisions every day. It tends to be a pretty rare thing. Even if somebody has the money, they're not going around making a purchase that substantial all the time. You need to anticipate the fact that one attempt is not going to work. There has to be a plan over time. So real quick here, can you just take us through? I know you've got different buckets. I've seen you post about like 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120-day retargeting. I don't think we have enough time to go like in depth into all of that, but can you just tell us a little bit about like how you think of a 30-day versus a 90-day situation? How do you identify when a customer is on a shorter journey or if it's going to take a longer journey? And what are the different kinds of things you're doing in one of those shortened cycles versus a 90 to 120, 180 day cycle where you're using different types of communications over a longer period of time?
So first thing I think of, big difference between B2C and B2B is that, in retargeting. So when you visit a pair of shoes or a shoe shop and you're looking at some Nike shoes and you get retargeted, it's not a matter of, they don't need to build trust. They just need to stay in front of you, tantalize you, and you might cave in and buy. But you're right. On B2B, you visit a solution that's going to cost you $10,000, $20,000, $5,000, $50,000. It's not just staying top of mind that's going to move the needle. The other things you that are going to move the needle is, I don't know this company yet. I don't trust them. I don't view them as the experts in the space yet. So way more than just staying top of mind and retargeting for the heck of retargeting is when you retarget them, what you retarget them with really matters. So I'm huge on the strategy of building trust and credibility in the retargeting layer, because moving that trust needle is what's actually going to move that purchasing decision, not just hammering them with ads until they finally submit and give me their money. Like they finally see me and my company as experts in our field. And so that's the type of content. And then how I structure that is I say, okay, if someone visits my website and they're an ideal prospect, and with LinkedIn, I can use the targeting filters to make sure I just retarget that group. What are the things that are going to move the needle on that trust factor over the next 90 days? Those are the kind of assets that I want to use. So, interviews, how-to videos, case studies, testimonials, user-generated content. Like, that's amazing stuff to put in retargeting. And then how I segment it is kind of like this. I'd have a 90-day retargeting section, and that would have most of my, trust building, trust and credibility. I would have a 30-day segment. So I would say, okay, this is probably going to be the most intense. And I kind of think of it in terms of like at the epicenter, when they took action, the initial 30 days from that action is going to be the most of my ads. I'm going to layer on, pretty much all my layers. As they move into the 90-day, I drop the 30-day, which may not be that much different content than my 90-day, but it's different intensity, different layers. And then they move into the 90-day. If they go through 90 days and they don't revisit my website, they don't book a call, they don't click on any more ads, they move into this 180-day section, and a lot of my in-feed expensive ads drop off, and I'm staying in front of them with high impression, low cost ads like follower ads, text ads, and spotlight ads. At any point, if they actually engage with ads in those different layers, you can segment out. And you can say, okay, and usually that's my 30-day group. This 30-day group is just going to retarget the people who have already been put in my retargeting audience, but now take additional actions to make me think they're especially engaged. They revisit the website again. They engage with my retargeting ads that they only see if they're in that audience. I'll segment out a 30-day audience. And that's usually when I have my highest, push for the call booking, push for a lead generation. I segment out that kind of super warm audience and push for a much stronger CTA, because they might just need a nudge to kind of go over the threshold. So that's the strong CTA. 90 days is kind of the build trust and credibility. And then 90 to 180 days is more light nurturing, low cost, keep the logo in front of them, and maybe wait for the time is right. But at the further they move away from taking action, I drop off the most expensive ads and stay and shift into like long-term nurturing.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, this has been fascinating. Justin, I feel like I could sit here and talk to you about targeting and retargeting all day because it's really kind of blowing my mind. But unfortunately, we're here at the end of the episode already. So time just flew by. But everybody, please give a thank you to Justin Rowe from Impactable for stopping by today. Justin, would you mind just telling my audience one more time if they want to find you online and learn more about you and Impactable, where should they go?
Yeah, if you search for me on LinkedIn, Justin Rowe, ROWE, you should find me. If you look for us on Impactable, if you go to impactable.com, you'll find our website. And if you search for Impactable on YouTube, you'll find a treasure trove of video. I encourage you to reach out. We're willing to do free LinkedIn ads audits. If you have an in-house agency or in-house team or an agency currently managing, we'll give you a free audit and health check. We'll give you a realistic idea as if you need us or if you're doing fine on your own. But yeah, you can also check us out on the website. We have some other services, but we're very LinkedIn centric. And yeah, that's it.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much, Justin. As a reminder today, we were brought to you by 3 wonderful sponsors. So first and foremost, thank you to Flying Cat Marketing. If anybody out there is looking to do SEO and organic content, we've learned from Justin that it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier to target and retarget your people on LinkedIn. So if you want to scale your B2B SaaS company with SEO and organic content, make sure you go to flyingcatmarketing.com. You can also go ahead and just scan the QR code you see on your screen. They are super awesome. You can learn about what they do, set up a consultation with them. Today's show is also brought to you by Apollo.io. So if you are not using Apollo right now, go sign up for it, especially if you are starting a sales operation there. It has all the tools you need to get started. It's got sales data, it's got automation and enablement tools. Check out Apollo.io, proud sponsor of the show. And last but not least, go to pitchfire.com and actually get paid to respond to salespeople. This is insane that they're doing this. But if you are the type of person who gets annoyed by being sold to on LinkedIn all the time, quit your crying, start getting paid for it. Go to pitchfire.com or scan the QR code up in the top left-hand side of your screen. Have a fantastic 4th of July to everybody in America who is celebrating next week. And we will be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Death by PowerPoint. Thanks a lot, Justin. Say goodbye to everybody.